all the value in the market is going to go to chips and what we call ontology. And we have this ontology, and the ontology will allow you to take a large language model and use it, refine it, and then impose it on your enterprise, in the logic of your enterprise, in the security model of your enterprise.
All the value in the market will go to chips and ontology. That's what Alex Karp, CEO of Palantir, said yesterday after AIPCon in an interview with Yahoo Finance. Now, if you want this visually, well, it's basically this masterpiece right here, chips and ontology. I stole this from Chad who works at Palantir, Chad, who you will hear a lot during this video. Well, you'll hear me talking about what he explained. So this is chips and ontology. I do want to start with the ontology part of everything, OSDK, because I do think that that's very, very important, and we're not talking a lot about that. We're also going to talk a little bit about, we're going to talk about what has happened during AIPCon as well. So let's start with, let's say, the basics. I know there are lots of things on your screen right now, but this is Unified Data Infrastructure 2.0. This was posted by, I believe, a venture firm, I forgot the name. Anyways, Chad then went on and added AIP Foundry from Palantir, all the, let's say, solutions, products, programs, and of course here bottom right, you can see OSDK, custom applications that can build on top of it. Now, why is that important? Well, by using the OSDK, which is the Ontology Software Development Kit, developers can build applications that leverage the power of the Palantir ontology. This makes it faster and easier to develop applications that work seamlessly with your company's data. OSDK is the SDK of your business. As Chad previously said, this is a custom-generated SDK of your business and not a generic SDK of the platform. Very, very important distinction to make. This is a custom-generated SDK of your business and not a generic SDK of the platform. They've previously wrote some blog posts about the Ontology SDK, giving us a couple of examples. Basically, you have to think of it in 3 steps. You've got to access the data, can easily find and retrieve relevant data from the ontology, like specific customer information or order detail. Then you have to understand that data, and then you perform the necessary action. It's very important to note here that the human is a crucial part of all that process. Now, they've given us here an example with regards to an aircraft that has an issue. So you have to basically switch the aircraft, switch the path, what airport they're going. They're going to the airport where you can have the necessary parts to replace and the necessary mechanic as well. And here you get a better, let's say, visualization of what's happened. You've got action, logic, and data. Now, in a world before the ontology, a programmer would need to find the appropriate components and then interact with each one using a component-specific interface, language, and/or dialect. As a result, the code itself is fundamentally component-centric. Basically, the Palantir ontology acts like a common dictionary for your company's data. It defines all the important concepts, their relationships, and the actions you can take on them, so everyone uses the same terms and understands what they mean. This is why I repeated that this is a custom-generated SDK of your business and not a generic one. Now that we've got that out of the way, we're going to talk about what happened during AIPCon. This is going to be a 2-part video because there's a lot to talk about, and I think a lot of things are maybe blown out of proportion, which is okay, fine. We've got the momentum with the stock. Company is worth now more than $50 billion. We're doing great stock-wise, but I do think that we have to look at the reality and what's going to happen in the future as well. So first up, hit all the buttons. Thumbs up, subscribe, notification bell. I would really appreciate that. Secondly, if you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment with a top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. And lastly, huge congratulations to the friend of the channel, Amit, because Amit, I was watching the stream, then I went to listen to the stream, and suddenly I hear a familiar voice, and that voice was this.
Hello, everybody watching from home.
It's a great little addition to the live stream. So again, congrats to Amit, congrats to everyone that has been working on this, congrats to the whole Palantir team as well. I'm going to have a conversation with Amit probably, hopefully, in the next coming weeks. Now, Let's talk about AIPCon. So, quick, let's say, summary of what happened. This was the fourth AIPCon, featuring nearly 70 customers showcasing their work with Palantir's AIP, which is Artificial Intelligence Platform. Palantir also announced the launch of the Palantir Developer Community, a public forum for users of Foundry and AIP. Think of it like a Reddit forum. Basically, you can ask questions, show your workflows, if there are any problems, etc., etc. You can ask the community. I think this is great, especially now that the whole ecosystem begins to grow and grow quite fast. Alex Karp also discussed Palantir's AI work, defense spending, and the potential impact of the 2024 election. Basically said that they've been working 20 years, various presidents never had an issue. He emphasizes the importance of refining large language models for business use and criticized the hype around them. He also highlighted the shift in the US Department of Defense spending habits, focusing on speed and readiness. And of course, we're going to see, I think, more spent on software and AI than ever before. They showcased Palantir's growing customer base and successful implementation of AIP technology across various industries, which we're going to talk about right now. First thing I want to touch on is from Sompo Japan. So they said that over the last 3 years, they've seen a $60 million improvement in profit. They expect an additional $100 million over the next 3 years. Sompo Japan, insurance, so they have to deal with sales, with underwriting, with claims. We've been talking about Lemonade for quite a while on this channel, so you can understand the power of AI and how that helps insurance companies. Moving on to Northwind's CEO Michael Bosworth. This was actually a very, very interesting company because, first of all, they are in various industries that you're probably buying products or maybe eating some of the things that have passed through Northwind, but they only have 85 employees. They mainly focus in North America and South America, but the amount of work that they can do is quite astonishing. And now, of course, with the help of Palantir, they can do more with less, be more efficient, cost saving, all of that good stuff. They chose Palantir because their products are best in class. They partner with Palantir because their core values align with their own, and they win with Palantir because this relationship makes them a better competitor. Moving on to Tampa General Healthcare. So they expected a platform, they got a partnership, they extended that partnership to another 7 years. They also showed us, it's not their statistics, it's from Gartner, 80 to 90% of analytics platforms fail to execute, basically more PowerPoint presentations than anything else. Fortunately, they are not in the 80 and 90%. They also provided us with some extra information. So they've seen 30% lower stay time. They saved lives, sepsis prevention, 29% of PACU holds reduction, saving labor cost and spent. Moving on to Jacobs. Jacobs is a partner that we've been seeing and hearing about for quite a while now. So they started by saying that they are one of the first adopters to put some of their key workflows, 10 workflows specifically, on the AIP marketplace. They also showed off their mixed reality platform built on top of AIP. And this is why I wanted to start the video talking about ontology, talking about OSDK, because as you can see in the video, you have the OSDK, the Palantir Data Platform, AIP, and then on top of that, they just had to build on top of it the frontline mixed reality service, and it understands their own business. I did not see this coming. This is very impressive and very, very cool. We then move to Fujitsu, which is one of Palantir's biggest Foundry users and one of Palantir's biggest implementation vendors. It's the number 9 IT provider worldwide. It's the number 1 IT service provider in Japan. They generated $24 billion in revenue in fiscal year 2023. They have over 15,000 Foundry users, over 100 Foundry engineers. I mean, talk about customers that actually like the platform that they're using and proud of using those platforms. They also said that one of their customers reduced the amount of time for disaster resilience by 1/5, basically coming from 10 days to 2 days. Then going to the last two, one is PowerXL. Funny enough, my sister actually worked for them at the oncology department, or in the oncology department, shall I say. So here again, they showed us some insight on how they're working with Palantir software, how it's making them better as a company. They say here 6 to 7 hours saved per subject matter expert for each study design. They reduced the time to data delivery by 50%. And I'd like to quote them. they said we were looking for a partner and an approach to our data strategy that actually produce shit. Sorry, excuse my French. And the last one here was United Airlines. So they first talked a little bit about their own deployment Chime, called Chime. It saved over 100,000 customers from delays and cancellation. They talked a little bit about the health of the Wi-Fi on the airplane, how they're tracking that, how Palantir system are helping them track all of the issues and basically also prevent issues, which is where predictive maintenance comes into play. And that has already saved almost 300 delays, 21 cancellations, and 186 out of service aircrafts, which of course translates in millions of dollars saved. I would say that's not too bad for an AI consultant, right? I mean, we've been talking about AI for quite a while. Everybody's spending tons and tons of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, on AI applications, AI software, AI products, or chips, of course, GPUs, data centers, all of that. These companies are making quite a lot of money. But in my opinion, I think we're entering a time where some companies have spent a lot of money, but the return on investment is not as high as they thought it would, because maybe they bought product software from companies that are PowerPoint companies, and the software does not produce, you know the word. And this is where Palantir will probably start to win more and more, because now they can showcase the customers using Palantir software are now coming. Nobody's paying them to say this, by the way. They're coming and they're showcasing how Palantir software is making their business better, how it's making their business actually save quite a lot of money, save lives, make more money, all of that thanks to a working software as a service business. And here we talk a lot about AI. But yeah, AI, all of those things, the chat feature, it is a feature. It is not something that will solve all of your issues. Of course, 3 years ago, AIP could not exist. But now, with LLMs, generative AI, all of that, it can exist. It can exist and it can actually be much, much better. But saying that, oh, AI, are you using AI? Yes. Which model? It doesn't matter which model. I'm talking here like a WWE. It doesn't matter. No. You can use every single model that you want. That's not the problem. They've talked about KLLM a couple of times, right? That's not the problem. The thing here is to have the ontology. That's why I wanted to start this video with regards to ontology, with regards to OSDK. Chad, if you're watching, I hope I'm doing you proud. Anyways, I think the acceleration in growth that we've seen from Palantir in the last 2 quarters, whether it's coming from commercial or now coming also from government, in my opinion, that will just accelerate. Why is that? 1, the product, the business is actually performing, especially the product. It is a working product. I don't know what the adoption rate is per bootcamp. We don't know that yet. I don't know what the pricing is of AIP. We don't know that yet either. But what we do know is that the product is working, because if it wasn't working, these companies would not be coming out and talk about how great that product is and how great their own business is doing. So you're getting that part. Secondly, you're going to have companies that do not use Palantir, but they see their competitors thriving because they use Palantir, and they are going to say, oh, maybe we have to try that as well. Step number 2. Step number 3 is obviously the government side of things. Government is going to spend more and more money on AI, on software, and on smaller startups, tech startups dealing with defense, whether it's Palantir, Anduril, or plenty of other companies as well that worked through Palantir to get the accreditation, Impact Level 5, 6, etc., etc. So we're now entering an era where suddenly all the pieces of the puzzle are coming into place, maybe not as fast as previously thought, but better late than ever. So, overall, that's about it for this video. Next video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the software, about why Palantir is going to be the winner. I'm going to compare it to some other companies as well. But for now, that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.